Anyway, enough of that. Let's another family success, and not without a chance. Lu Yong of China, he is the defending world champion for China. So a chance to meet the athletes, and this is Sihai Laihun, the runner-up last year to Lu Hong in the World Championships. Tigran Martirosyan, the older of the two brothers, Olympic bronze medalist in Beijing a couple of years ago. Next man representing Uzbekistan, Ruslan Nurodinov, and just 18, but in this company an outsider tonight. Kim Kwang-hoon of Korea finished fourth in the Olympic Games. Korea with a pretty experienced squad. And this is Alexei Yufkin, the European champion, not this season, but last season. And the European silver medalist this season, Ara Khashatryan from Armenia. Armenia, who were all over this stadium last night. They did a great job, great atmosphere. Listen for their fans. Gabriel Sinclayan of Romania, just 21. He was a really good junior, but he's yet to convert that promise into the senior rank. Shashimov, Mamsurbek Shashimov, the second of the Uzbeks in the lineup, 27 years of age, didn't manage a total last year, but here is the man who did, the Olympic and world champion Lu Yong. And Adrian Zielinski of Poland, junior world champion last season. And completing the lineup, representing Kazakhstan, 26-year-old Vladimir Kuznetsov. Well, this is Hernandez. We're going to take a short break. I'll tell you about him when we come back. Welcome back, and these are crucial pictures because this is Hernandez of Cuba, who led the B group competition a little earlier today, and very, very importantly, picked up in the clean and jerk 210 kilos. And Hernandez could really play a big part in the overall competition, but more especially in the clean and jerk rankings when we come to sort out the medals. It's Yilmaz Hernandez, 164 kilos in the snatch, 210 in the clean and jerk, and it's the 210 that I would ask you to keep in your mind for his total of 374. 374 shouldn't get him an overall medal, but 210 gives him a chance of maybe a bronze or a silver, or Randy's shaking his head and thinking even a gold.
Well, no, not sure to go that far, but I think he could well be on the podium for that clean and jerk. Interestingly, David, we had two other guys in that B session who could have been pushing each other. They didn't quite live up to what we thought they would. In fact, one ended up not even coming out for the clean and jerk, but that was a big lift. Impressive number, 210.
So here we go, getting underway here, and this is the first man on the stage representing Korea, Kim Kwang-hoon. Of course, the competition last year, the World Championships, on his home stage. He was 8th in the world last year, totaling up 346 and 153 kilos last year in this opening snatch phase. So this is 157, first lift of the competition evening. And that's a nice one to start with. Good speed, good precision, and gets him off to a good mark. 4 kilos up on where he finished last year.
If this is the first time you're watching weightlifting, this sport has 2 lifts. This is the first lift. It's called the snatch. You lift the weight in one motion from the platform to arm's length overhead. Have to be blindingly fast as well as strong. 3 attempts. That was his first one. He did the job. He got on the board with it. Good lift.
One of the heavier men in the class, 83 kilos, one of the lighter men in the class, 83 kilos, 84, and that may play to his advantage, and may not play to his advantage necessarily in terms of medals, but in terms of ranking positions it could. And just to emphasize what Randy and myself have been saying all through this week, these World Championships count for team qualifying points for the London 2012 Olympic Games. So every position is valuable. Now this is Romania's representative, Gabriel Sinclayan, of Romania. And just talking to Nicu Vlad, hopeful that he's going to have a good series. I think what Nicu's looking for here, Randy, is 6 out of 6 and stepping stones up, because he is 21, and this is a big stage for him to be on.
And the consistent performance like that, 5 for 6 or 6 for 6, will be a real confidence builder. Very important at this stage of his lifting career, particularly. Nice lift.
As it should be for the first attempt. We saw him last year in Władysławowo in Poland in the European Under-23, the inaugural competition. And the Under-23 is now being introduced into the IWF calendar, and an absolutely vital inclusion, Randy, because it's now filling a gap. It's keeping some of these athletes involved in the sport.
Absolutely. Snatch, if you want to understand it, think that first the lifter is going to jump up and then he's going to jump down. So think that as you're watching this next lifter jumping up with the bar in his hands and then jumping down to catch in an outstretched arms overhead.
Vladimir Kuznetsov weighed in at 84 kilos 38, representing Kazakhstan, the bronze medalist in the 85 kilo class last year. So he's looking to make his mark again in this.
Chasing it, he's walking forward like that in that duck walk position, trying to get control of the bar. The bar is a little bit out front, and by walking forward, he's trying to get his body under it. As long as he doesn't run out of platform, it's fine to do that. Now watch, he's going to chase the bar. He's coming up, losing it, walking forward, staggering. No lift. Not happy with that, of course. Only 3 attempts. Can't afford to squander any of them, really, if you want to be in the money after.
And as we said at the end, just to put this into context at the moment, there were several groups actually, a C and a D group, but also a B group earlier today. And İzzet İnce of Turkey with 165 kilos was the best in the first half of that competition, and he is actually the current leader at this stage in the first half, because of course medals available for snatch, clean and jerk and the overall. And so 165 kilos, they've got to surpass that before they go past the top man in the B group. Yilmaz Hernandez, you saw him take that 210 clean and jerk. He also did 164 in the snatch phase, so he's currently in second place. And Benjamin Hennequin of France had not a bad afternoon here, 163 kilos, and gave the French a little confidence after the awful disappointment of Dabaya's bomb out earlier on in the championship. And Hennequin giving them a little bit of cheer.
He's got quite a clean and jerk. He's one of the other 2 that I alluded to from that B session that's capable of launching a pretty big clean and jerk. But here's Kuznetsov coming back, second attempt.
So 160 at a body weight of 84.38 is going to put him up into 5th place if he gets it.
Now he's in real trouble. Now he's missed 2. Okay, only has 3 attempts. But worse than that, he's got this negative momentum going now. He's missed 2 lifts. Terrible psychological pressure.
Yeah, and he never really got this bar high enough. It was sitting out in front of him.
Yeah, it looked like I would call it a soft finish. When he turns the bar over at the top, it should be really aggressive, almost violent snap at the top to what we call fix the bar overhead. And I think he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders right now. He's got to produce. This is a big deal team in the world of weightlifting, Kazakhstan, and they're fighting for those team points.
Absolutely.
For the Olympics, so he's got to produce.
Well, the more points you can make here in this World Championship, the more places you can secure, and it takes the pressure off having to score points next year in Paris at the Worlds, or finally in the European, or in his case the Asian Championships, to get the maximum of 6 places. What is disappointing is the fact that 170 is what he actually picked up on his way to a bronze medal last year. 160 sort of takes him back to Beijing, when he had a disappointing performance. He was 8th in the Olympic Games, but at that stage he was a 77 kilo lifter, and he's moved up to 85. So, 160, sort of sends him back in time.
Right, and in terms of absolute levels, it's not a tremendous standard for world championship level competition in this class. The world record, senior world record, is 187. Yeah. I don't think we're not going to see pressure in that. I don't think tonight, but we're going to see snatches in the high 170s, maybe lower 180s, possibly.
Well, it's a positive approach to the stage, and when this happens, you can be rest assured that it doesn't matter that he's come from Kazakhstan and there are fans all around this hall. Actually, this is the moment where everybody in the hall gets round the lifter and wants him to actually succeed, because this is to stay alive in the overall competition. So 20 seconds, plenty of time. He can steady, locks on, but now he's got to put himself mentally in the zone.
Oh, that was the closest, I thought. Basically, he missed the first 2 out front. This also was out front. I thought he was going to make that. It was the closest, I would say. Let's watch in slow motion. It's not going to get fixed on the left side, and not for lack of trying.
No, it's not strength, it's technique.
Yep.
So Kim Kwang-hoon from Korea. Now this is a man who has moved up from 77 kilos, 8th in the World Championships last year, but at 77. So when he had the first lift at 157, of course that is 5 kilos up on his 77 kilo performance.
Boy, I hope this doesn't become contagious. I mean, it does happen sometimes. You just have a run of misses. Misses are not what you want, not just from the lifter's point of view, but it makes the contest move slower if a lifter falls himself. When you miss, if you fall yourself, you get 2 minutes to come out instead of 1 minute.
The thing is, though, Andy, people adapt to a new weight class at a different speed. Some people, it takes them more than 1 season to get comfortable.
But they should be picking the weights accordingly, and you want to make a lot of attempts if you can. I mean, it doesn't always work that way, but you really don't want to only make 1 snatch and 1 clean and jerk, and even 2 of each isn't enough.
Well, we know that the first one you take is the one you absolutely nailed on. You've done it a million times. Yes. Actually, the second one is also a lift you should have a great deal of confidence about. It's the third one where you tend, together with your coach, to push yourself into no man's land. But it's all about adaptability, because if things aren't going exactly to plan, you've got to change the situation.
Right. Moving target, because the guy might just not feel the same tonight as he did last night or the 364 nights before that. Got to adjust, and you have time, and you can change your weights. But he's got 1 good lift, and now let's see if he can get a second good snatch on the board.
This, of course, is 5 kilos up on that first successful attempt. So this is for 2 out of 3, but more importantly, those extra 5 kilos.
5 is not a small jump at this weight in this day of the 1 kilo rule. Very muscular lifter, muscular development in his upper body, but that doesn't really matter. It's not what you look like, it's how you lift. Oh, good.
He did well. He steadied in that bottom position, then drove up, and that was very well controlled.
Made a slight adjustment. My sense, and we'll see if it's true and when we see the slow motion, I think he was going forward on his toes a little bit, didn't have to run to chase it, but let's see in the bottom position if he goes forward a little bit. Nope, don't really see it. Because I thought the weight was just a little bit out front, but in fact, because he didn't have to run, it probably was in the right groove. Way to come back. He missed on the second attempt, came back and made it. He's got 2 good snatches now.
And now this is Nuruddinov of Uzbekistan, the first of 2 Uzbeks in the competition. But this man really doesn't have any serious competition record. He's coming in really as an unknown.
Okay. There's a psych-up technique I've not seen. He pulled the guy's hair. The coach pulled the lifter's hair, seen earlobes twisted, faces slapped, etc., etc., etc. But have you ever seen a lifter get his hair pulled?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah.
So here he goes, Ruslan Nuruddinov to open up on 165. Just to put this in context, this was the weight he announced that he was going to start on. He's looking for a total of 382. Well, again, that was out front. The significance of the 382, Randy, is the fact that just 15 kilos cover the field in terms of their entry total. So that tells you that at least on paper, we're looking at a very, very tight competition tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fireworks. Partly because of that, because we should have intense competition because we have so many fairly equally matched lifters coming in, but there's upward pressure from this B session. We saw that huge clean and jerk. And this is a class that a lot of people like. I think that it's interesting for spectators to watch. This is sort of the body sizer type that a lot of people like. And
I regard this as what I call an open door category, because there hasn't been anyone who's really dominated this for a while.
Lu Yang a little bit's got that claim to fame recently because he's the world champion, the Olympic champion, but not at the world record level. And you're absolutely right about that, because where's Rybaku?
So Alexei Yufkin now for Russia. Yufkin, last year's European champion. Again, a man who's moved up from 77.
Whoa. Okay, that's what a snatch should look like. Watch how quickly he moves vertically, and then think this idea of jump up, jump down. So he's going to start the bar slowly, he's going to accelerate it violently when the bar gets about knee height, and then he's going to jump underneath it. We'll see this hopefully in slow motion. And it's precise. It's like a piston. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
And it's at these weight categories that we start to look for the Russians in these divisions. Yufkin, who was bronze medalist a couple of seasons ago at 77, then moved up last year to take the European title. He's also got pretty good stats. He tends to lift 4 out of 6, which is the sort of thing you have to do if you want to be in there with the medals. Now this is Shashimov Mamsubek, the second of the 2 Uzbeks, and this man with a whole lot more experience. His teammate's only 18, this man is 27 years of age.
Good, now the tide's going the other direction, getting some success.
Well, the reason I'm really delighted for him there is, absolutely rotten night in Korea. He had 3 goes at 160 in the snatch, didn't get any of them in Goyang, had 3 goes at 200 and didn't get any of those in the clean and jerk. So, with that effort, he's just sort of put Goyang behind him.
Yeah, sometimes the magic works and sometimes it doesn't, I guess. And 0 for 6 is really what you don't want. Generally, the winner will put 5 good lifts on the board, sometimes 6, but they're usually not down at 2 or 3 good lifts.
Lu Yong, the defending champion, he's posted 170 as his opener, and he's backstage with Ara Kashatrian in the warm-up room, who's also posted 170 as the first appearance. So Armenia versus China. Has a ring of last night about it.
Right. There'll be some strategizing back there too. Really hear those feet smack the platform. Probably coming up pretty high as he's pulling.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I thought that was a better one than the second one. Just now he's got the first 160, now he's got the 165. Now just beginning to not relax, but you know what I mean. He's now into more fluency and flow.
You can see the feet come well off the platform when he's pulling. Watch, we'll see it in slow motion. That was the sound you could hear too.
Feet in line and still, as they have to be to achieve a good lift.
Gets a down signal and then only has to return the bar to the platform, basically.
No, Ridinov now, 165 for him. Again, one of the lighter men in the class at 84.37. And Shashimov leading at the moment by virtue of lighter body weight over Izzet Ince, the man who led the B group earlier on. Bar still at 165. And that's going to take this man into second place or silver medal position.
Little adjustment at the bottom. Nice one to save the lift. Watch him move his body a little bit over to the left when he's in the bottom position. And saves the lift. Nice. Looks tall for this class.
So here is the world silver medalist of 12 months ago, Serhii Lahun for Belarus. 171.209 for a 380 total last season, but that was 3 off the gold medal. So can he give Lu Hong a bigger fight this time? Or Lu Kyong, I should say, not Lu Hong.
Yeah, not what he wants. 166, just to kind of put that in perspective too, it's his teammate, Rubiku, right? Andrei Rubiku, who's got the world record in this lift. What he said, in fact, also has the world record in the total. And he's not here tonight for reasons I don't know. But that, in a way, puts added pressure on this guy because he's representing the team, needs to get those points. Obviously being groomed for the future. And you can just see the bar, I'll call it pop out from the top. It's trying to fix it overhead and just all the steam goes out, arms unlock, bar comes down, no lift.
And 166 is looking like a weight that nobody else wants at all at the moment. Martyrossian of Armenia had posted 165, but he's moved up now, so it looks like Lahun is going to have to follow himself.
We've had, roughly a dozen attempts in this weight range, and we're still not up to 170 or in the high 160s.
No, you've still got Izzet Ince from the B group in the bronze medal position at the moment. But there's plenty of lifters out there. Martyrossian still to start, and also Zielinski of Poland, formerly, Zielinski, and then also Lu Yong himself.
Right.
And you've got Kashatrian of Armenia to start. The Armenians very strongly represented, and there's a big bank of their fans just behind us to our right. They were noisy last night, but they've brought a lot of atmosphere to the competition, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do the same this evening. Now, Lahun. You can possibly afford one miss if you're really going for the big medals, but he's had his chance. Now it's got to be 100% from here on in.
Good.
Yeah, that was very well recovered.
Yeah. Came back from that well. Just to execute it. Guys at this level are really drilling not just on strength but technique, and I can't even imagine how many repetitions he has done in the snatch. Doesn't really matter. He's got to produce a good one here, and he did, though. That's the point. He produced a good lift when he had to.
166 takes him into the lead. The other factor, which I think is worth emphasizing, we talked about it a little bit during the week, Randy, is the fact that everyone at home, you'll be seeing the 6 lifts, but maybe you'll not be seeing very many of the warm-up lifts that go behind. So if you come into the competition about an hour before it starts with, let's say, a full tank of petrol, you're emptying that tank, but you're not only emptying it as a result of what you lift on the stage, it's back there, because you're building up to the 166 that you want to try.
And we talked about the moving target. Okay, your warm-ups have to be paced based on what the other lifters are doing. And when you see a lot of red on the board, as in missed lifts, as the way this session started off, it affects the timing in the warm-up room. And it might not be doing something that you wanted it to do, and certainly not doing something you planned on it doing. And some people will cope better with that, and some worse. And you have to have an astute coach who gets this timing right, and the lifter has to be flexible as well.
So Mamzabek Shashimov coming in. The bar's gone to 169 now, so this is where we move up to a level where it gets a little bit serious, if not a lot more serious. Now, the world record, as you said, Randy, in the 85 kilo class, 187 by Andrei Rybakov, and I agree with you. I don't think we're going to be hitting those heights, but this is all about winning the medal, and this first half is to set you up. It's to give you a platform from which to attack on the second half.
Right. I think we'll see maybe 180 or something like that, though. I don't think we'll get the upper 180s, but I think we'll break into 180 range. Just my guess.
Well, if Marty Rossian is in the same form as his younger brother yesterday, I think he might be really pushing in this first half. So Shashimov, Uzbekistan, second attempt, 4 kilos up. This is good.
Yeah, notice his feet didn't move at all, front or back, after he completed lift. That means he really stuck the lift as far as being in the right groove. Didn't have to chase it, wasn't going behind him, wasn't left out in front. As heavy as the weight might be in the snatch, if it's done properly, it's going to look easy.
Well, he's clearly well prepared, and he's in a much better, mindset than he was a year ago. And that 169, that's, if I'm not wrong, that is a personal best in the snatch for him.
Well, so good for him. Wonderful place to have a personal best.
So from one Uzbek to another, Nuridinov. So from the 27-year-old to the 18-year-old.
The haircut tells it all.
I suppose you could say from the master to the pretender. Or maybe the heir apparent.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that really just means the lifter is psyched out when they do the automatic little look at the thumb. But there's an on-off switch, and think about what this guy's doing. He's pulling close to 375 pounds from the platform up, and then he's got to get his body under him. That could be an intimidating prospect. He might have just turned off mentally at that point, said, I'm not going under this weight.
Yeah, 170 is double body weight.
Yeah.
And that's where we are now.
And so he'll look at his thumb as if something terrible happened to his thumb. It might have just been a disconnect, at the psychological level.
Well, it's going to be the first of the two Armenians, and it's going to be Tigran Martirosyan. Now, he was in bronze medal in Beijing. He had 380, but he was a long way back in Beijing behind Liu Yong, who won it with 394 on body weight from the Belarusian Andrei Rybakov. Those two were well ahead on 394, but Martirosyan, both of them, older and younger brother, have been continuously improving. He's now 27 years of age, so he should really at this moment be at the height of his powers.
Absolutely.
So 170 to take the lead, weighed in at 84.23. That's quite a useful body weight.
Another one.
Well,
really doesn't want that. That is really the worst. I mean, basically, that's a choke. I mean, if we just want to describe it, you know, as it is, something didn't feel right. The brain said, I'm not going under this. And he just does what we call a high pull. Sometimes people will say, oh, well, got his sports mixed up. He thought he was in powerlifting and just deadlifted it.
Yeah, I mean, he did a 172 last year in Goyang, but bombed out in the clean and jerk. And now Khachaturian. Now this is very interesting because he is really light at 83 kilo 05, and Ara Khachaturian, the European silver medalist of this season.
I predict he's just going to attack this weight. Going through mental rehearsal there, he's visualizing the lift. That's what he was doing right before he grabs the bar. Hook grip, fingers going around the thumb for added security.
I sort of sense he's going to make this.
Yeah, I think he's just going to rip this, is my guess. He came out looking like he was loaded for bear. And, you know, there's got to be some rivalry within the team. I mean, they're all team players. They want the team to benefit. But you got another guy, you know, in your bodyweight class.
Absolutely. And again, here's another man who has moved up.
So now all the big guns are coming out.
Yeah, Lu Yong on 170 as predicted, as announced. Lu, who's 24 years of age, and now he posted a total of 390. So did Khachaturian. So on that alone, you could sort of make them as joint favorites. But this is the man who is the Olympic champion and also the world champion. And that's a good opener, but believe it or not, that only takes him to second place because Khachaturian is significantly lighter.
He had to walk a bit with that, nothing extreme, and you could see he was happy to get on the board. You know, get one lift on the board, you've made a big step in the direction you'd like to go. Sure, you'd like to get more good lifts, but getting one is the critical thing, and he does that on his first attempt. Snatched 180 at the Olympics and 175 at the Worlds last year.
So this is Mr. Adrian Zielinski representing Poland, opening up on 170.
Proving to be a popular weight for this group of lifters.
And again, this would take him up into silver medal position, push Lu Yong down into bronze, but still plenty of lifts to come out there. The poker hasn't really started quite yet.
Well, he stuck that.
Yeah, quiet and effective.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, understated, but boy, he put some smoke on this thing when he needed to.
So Alexei Yufkin, the next man to be on stage. Well, as a result of that little run of good lifts, Alexei Yufkin's been shuttled down to 8th place. This is a 5 kilo increase, weighed in at 84.68. So again, this would take him from 8th up into 3rd place. And this is the fascination, Randy, 2 years out from the Olympics, and you just sense that everybody's moving forward now.
Right. Yeah, the long-term plan is to excel in London. Well, it wasn't pretty, but he made it. You know, you don't get style points. The right knee's going to come way in as he's trying to adjust his right to save this lift. But he makes it, which is the important thing.
Yeah, it was rough around the edges, but the strength was there.
Yeah.
It was just that the technique made it more difficult, or the lack of perfect technique.
Yeah, we need to hopefully really see his legs if we could. That replay. Not so light from overhead. Look, we're seeing a lot of vibration there. So he's holding this weight overhead.
So Tigran Martirosyan now, he's under a bit of pressure now because that, as you said, choke of 170 failure. He's nowhere in this competition. Now 84.23 is his body weight. So were he to lift this, he would zoom from nowhere to second.
Yeah, and he basically just wasted that first attempt, unfortunately.
But if he's
he'll bounce back.
If he's going to be in the final fight, you know, he can't afford to miss this one. This one has to go in. Maybe a little family pressure in his brain as well after the success of his brother last night. This is Tigran V, his brother's Tigran G.
Something is seriously wrong now. Maybe there is something physical, but I always doubt it. You know, hopefully I'm not just being cynical, but I think the switch flips and it's like the hand comes off, and I don't know.
Well, you get that sort of indication as if the bar was a bit sharp and things like that, but
yeah,
you know,
it's not what it is. The thumb is taped. The reason why is for the hook grip. You tend to pull the skin away from your nail and you bleed. You're not going to die from bleeding around the edge of your fingernail, but it's more comfortable to have your thumb taped. I don't think it's a physical thing like that. I mean, he wasn't looking at the palm of his hand, which would be the, you know, if he had torn a callus, which would be painful, he'd be looking at that, but he wasn't, I don't think. And the hand wasn't taped either. The palm wasn't taped when he came out for that attempt.
So Sinclair, who is really almost the heaviest in the class, 84.90. So, but this would move him up into 5th place. And considering he's relatively unexposed, this would be a very good lift for him to get, make him 3 out of 3.
Boy, everything looked good until the end of the lift. And this is interesting too, David. I want to comment. You know, we said that this would be a very competitive class. Look how tightly clustered the weights are in this. I mean, look how many attempts we've had in this range, this narrow range.
We've got 4 men on 170, all separated only by body weights at the moment, and it's Stihai Lahund coming on for his 3rd attempt. Remember, he failed the first one at 166, so this is a 4 kilo increase. So weighed in at 83.84, so this would be taking him up into silver medal position. Again, trying to duck walk when the bar goes in front and the hips are behind, and the world silver medalist of 12 months ago left on 166, only 1 out of 3, and he's, well, at the moment 4 kilos off the pace, and it may get a little worse than that. 4-meter platform, and you have to stay on the platform while you're lifting to achieve a valid lift. And from one man who has not excelled to another man who's in real trouble. Now, we've already seen one man from this medal final group, Vladimir Kuznetsov, last year's bronze medalist, failed to get a valid snatch, and therefore the possibility of a total, and the same dilemma now facing Tigran Martirosyan. He didn't total last year, and now the horrible thought is that it might just happen again. And this 170 is well within his range. Looking back over the last 2 or 3 years. And 3rd time, and it's just not there. Chalk and cheese between the two brothers. The younger brother, the hero last night, but I'm afraid it's 0 for the older brother now. Well, the bar moving up now to 172 kilos. You've got to feel a little sorry for Marty Rossian there. It just didn't happen. It just wasn't in his head for whatever reason. So Armenia, who started two-handed with a real chance. They still have, of course, Khachaturian. But this is Mamsubek Shashimov of Uzbekistan now trying to take the lead now. 165, 169, and now an extra 3 kilos on the bar to go into gold medal position ahead of Khachaturian, who currently is the leader. So Uzbekistan versus Armenia at this particular moment. Shashimov, another man who had a horrible time 12 months ago, but having a much better night so far. This for 3 out of 3. But it's this third lift which is really testing these men now. And Shashimov getting into the 170s is something or deeply into the 170s is something he hasn't yet done on a competition stage. And it's not happened for him tonight. That said, he's still on 169. He's only a kilo off the leader at the moment, so still very much in touch. So Alexei Yufkin now for Russia. 172 kilos. Trying to do what Shashimov could do. Now Yufkin currently in third place. This of course would put him into the gold medal position, and this is his third and final attempt. And again, it's a new mark, or would be a new mark if successful. 20 seconds remaining on the countdown clock to get the bar moving. Arms almost at the extremities of the 20 kilo bar. Settles, drives up, and in fact tidier than the second one, and the new leader for Russia is Alexei Yufkin, European champion in Bucharest in 2009, former junior world champion some 4 years ago, junior European champion I should say. His real achievements so far have been on the European stage as opposed to the world stage. So Adrian Zielinski for Poland, who went quietly about his work in the first attempt, now 173. This is a 3 kilo increase, and once again he would lead the field by a kilo. Three men still very much alive in this competition, and they've all got 2 attempts left. Zielinski, Khachaturian, and the defending champion Lu Yong from China. Now 173. Just looking at Khachaturian and Zielinski, they are very likely to put Zielinski in again here. Lu Yong certainly. And Khachaturian around the 175 mark for their next attempt. So Zielinski's got 2 minutes in which to try and come and do this again. $171 last year, 172 in the Junior Europeans last season as well, so it's just a little bit beyond his personal best in going for 173, but this is a weight at his stage of development. He's only 21, but it is a weight which you would expect him to pick up. entered a total which is 9 kilos under that of Lu Yong at 381, but a full minute in which to try and make this third attempt. And you just don't know. This might be a very important lift, because if either of the two men who follow him run into trouble, then he may get an even better medal. As it is, if he does this, he goes into gold and he's guaranteed a medal of one color or another. And that's much better. Much better. Really seemed comfortable with that. And 173, very good lift, 3 white lights, no problem about that. Speedy, explosive, precise. It was very much like the first attempt. Feet in line, and up goes Zielinski of Poland into the gold medal position. And we have Khachaturian of Armenia and Lu Yong at 175, and it'll be the Armenian to go first. Alexei Yufkin in silver at the moment, and he's the man who might just be bumped out of the medals here if Khachaturian and Lu Yong are both successful in their next attempts. Second attempt for Khachaturian. Same sort of generation as Martirosyan, who's already had such a rotten evening. Khachaturian actually a year older, the European silver medalist. Only hit 50% of his lifts, or I should say only made 50% of his lifts in Minsk this year. Will need to do better than that if he wants to contend for the title. So this for a 2 kilo advantage. So as I was alluding to a little earlier, Zielinski with that success at 183. He's got the score on the board, and Khachaturian at 175. And Lu Yong is going to come out for the same weight. Had Khachaturian made that, they might have adjusted to 176 because Lu Yong is heavier, but the fact that Khachaturian didn't make it, now Lu Yong can come out, the defending champion. A very measured walk to the platform. Now this is the mark on which he finished last year in the first half of the competition in Goyang. Made 180 in the Olympics. Well, they've both blown their second attempt, Khachaturian and Lu Yong. So Zielinski, this is all going to come down to these 2 attempts. Now Khachaturian has the advantage in as much that he's lighter than Lu Yong. So if he were to get this third attempt, then Lu Yong would have to go to 176 minimum to take the gold medal. So the Armenian fans at the moment relatively subdued, but I think they might raise a noise if this is successful. Khachaturian, 3 white lights. Sam Copper, the president of the jury, nodding and satisfied with that. And the game is on. Zielinski pushed down into silver, and Lu Yong, the defending champion. Now, if Lu Yong goes for 175, then he's accepting that this is the weight that he can achieve. He weighed in at 84.78. Khachaturian 83.05. So Lu Yong looking at the bigger picture, the overall championship which he's looking to defend, and this would put him on terms with Khachaturian, but in the silver medal position. If he fails, Yufkin's going to get a medal, and he fails, and the Armenians cheer. Lu Yong is down in 4th place.